What up, what up? Fantasy Football Hustler back at you, bringing you some Week 10 wide receiver matchup. So I'm breaking down every player, every single matchup, letting you know who you guys can start and sit. Don't forget, I'm bringing this to you real early on Tuesday. So you're going to have to follow me on YouTube and on everyone on social media for updates because there's some things that are going to happen within the week within injury reports that may change this. But you can also hit me up on my live streams Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday morning. So yeah, make sure you get in on it. All right, guys, hit subscribe right now if you're on YouTube. If you're not on YouTube, go subscribe on YouTube, Fantasy Football Hustler. Go hit it up. Follow me everywhere on social media at FFHustler420 and go visit my website, fantasyfootballhustler.com for a one-on-one experience that literally doesn't exist until now. So go hit it up, guys, fantasyfootballhustler.com. One last thing before we get into this, I'm going to start doing an exclusive live stream on Sundays during the game where I'm going to be watching all the games and I'm literally shouting out like what's going on. You're going to be able to see all my reactions. I'm going to be taking questions, interacting with everybody, smoking mad weed with you guys. So 420 posse, gang up. Let's do it. So you got to be signed up on my website though, Fantasy Football Hustler. You got to be on the $10 tier or higher. This is going to be exclusive. This is just for people that really want to support me, really want to hang out with me. If you don't want to get on Patreon, that's cool. It's $5 per week, and you can shoot me Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, whatever the hell you want. So I'm giving options for people, but I'm not making money other than doing this kind of stuff and the Patreon, and I'm not making money off of YouTube yet or the podcast. One day I will be, but I'm just doing things to keep things interactive, trying to keep a roof over my head at the same time. So yeah, guys, hit me up, shoot me a DM on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at FFHustler420 if you want some info, and just sign up on Patreon if you want to just go the easy way. The cheaper way is sign up on Patreon, getting up on the $10 tier. All the streams and everything are going to be going right into there. It's going to be happening on YouTube, but it's going to be private on YouTube. It's only going to be for Patreons who are on the $10 tier or higher, or if you pay me, directly, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, whatever, it's $5 per week. I'm telling you, it is going to be a fun experience. So let's get into it, guys. Got 4 teams on bye: Chiefs, Falcons, Cowboys, and the lowly Jets. Thursday night football, I'm not excited about this. The Colts versus the Titans. So for the Colts, I think you can really just start Michael Pittman Jr., T.Y. Hilton. So I didn't even put T.Y. Hilton on the list because even if he does play, I'm not going to play him either way. So Michael Pittman Jr., he just seems like the only guy really worth starting. I mean, Zach Pascal, Marcus Johnson, I'm not too excited about playing them. For the Titans, A.J. Brown, I mean, you got to start him. Corey Davis, I think he's flex worthy this week. Had a really bad week last week, but I think he's flex worthy this week. I think a lot of attention is going to be on A.J. Brown. Maybe he'll get a couple catches more than he did last week. And Adam Humphries, even if he plays, I'm not going to play him. Not too excited about getting him in the lineup, but he's still in concussion protocol. Texans at the Browns. So hopefully it's not crazy windy like it was in Cleveland a couple weeks ago when the Raiders played, because that won't mean good things for the wide receivers. But as of today, on Tuesday, everything seems good. For the Texans, I'm starting Will Fuller. I'm starting Brandon Cooks. Those guys are as close to must starts as anybody else in the league right now. Sitting Randall Cobb, though. And for Cleveland, really, I'm just expecting them to get down a little bit, and they're going to have to throw. Jarvis Landry, Rashard Higgins, both flex worthy to me. If anybody, I'm a little bit nervous about starting this Landry here because Bradley Roby's going to be back. He missed last week, but it was like he got in trouble. It was discipline. It wasn't an injury. So yeah, I'm a little nervous about Jarvis Landry because that's who's going to be covering him. And then Donovan Peoples-Jones, I'm not excited enough to throw him into my lineup yet. Washington at the Lions, not expecting a lot of scoring in this matchup, but Terry McLaurin, got to start him. Guy's been sneaky good. And Kenny Golladay, if he plays, obviously you're going to play him. Washington does have a tough secondary, though. So make sure you subscribe on YouTube for updates because I put out a Wednesday injury report, Thursday and Friday injury report, just to let you know what's going on with everybody. Everyone else I'm sitting this matchup. Cam Sims, I mean, maybe he's flex worthy, if you're in a deeper league. Marvin Jones Jr., not playing. Danny Amendola, if you're in a deeper league, maybe you flex him, but I'm not trying to get him in the lineup. And then Marvin Hall, it's also someone I'm not excited to get into a lineup. Jaguars at the Packers. So first guy we got to talk about is DJ Chark, who just blew up last week. Just huge, huge game. It was because Bradley Roby was out, so I was telling everybody about that. Since Bradley Roby missed, DJ Chark was a prime start, even with the backup. Now going up against the Packers, I think a lot depends on Jair Alexander's status. Went out, I believe, concussion protocol. So we got to see what's happening there. But yeah, if Jair Alexander is playing, that makes me downgrade Chark tremendously. And then for the Packers, you're starting Devontae Adams every single week. Sitting everybody else here. Chris Conley sitting, Keelan Cole sitting, Marquez Valdez Scantling. I'm still sitting. I mean, he got the 2 touchdowns last week, but literally those were his only catches. And if you remember, he dropped that pass, and Aaron Rodgers was like mean mugging him. Like, I don't know. They got some love-hate stuff going on there. And Alan Lazard, he's supposed to come back and start practicing this week. I don't know if he's going to be activated off IR, but pay attention for that. It's the only reason I threw him on the list, just to put him on your radar. Eagles at the Giants. So the only one we're starting for the Eagles is Travis Fulgham, with full confidence. Jalen Reagor, I would throw him in a flex, just depending on how deep your league is and depending on what kind of other options you got. I do like Reagor. I think they're going to start getting him more targets. For the Giants, Sterling Shepard. He's the only one I'm really willing to start. Darius Slayton, I'm sitting him down. I'm sitting Golden Tate down. It seems like all the targets, they're going to Sterling Shepard, Evan Ingram. I mean, Darius Slayton's getting a decent amount of targets, but if you're actually watching the game, he's not getting good catchable targets. I mean, not like Sterling Shepard and Evan Ingram is. It seems like those guys, they just get peppered with the really easy passes, and Darius Slayton's on a lot of deep routes that, Daniel Jones just really isn't hitting him on. Buccaneers at the Packers. So the last time these guys played, it was kind of ugly. I mean, it was week 2. Godwin wasn't playing. He was out that game. So just a lot of differences now. So, I mean, really, I don't think anybody here is necessarily like a locked and loaded, wide receiver 1. Like, that's for sure. Like Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. I mean, I put him here as a flex because you just really need to downgrade, just whatever you thought they were in the beginning, you're downgrading them now, especially with Antonio Brown there. But I really think all of them, Evans, Godwin, Antonio Brown, I think they're all flex worthy, and I think they should all be in lineups. It just all depends on your option. So that's why I do the start and sit live streams, multiple times per week. And then that's why also on my website, it's all about the one-on-one help and helping you make the best decisions for your lineup. I mean, this is me just telling you who I'd start and who I'd sit and just talking about the matchups. But if you want specific help, fantasyfootballhustler.com, go hit it up. So that's the Buccaneers side of things. Get to the Panthers side of things. Robbie Anderson, I mean, you got to play him. I guess I put him here as a flex because it's a tough matchup. He didn't do that great when he played against him in week 2, but he's getting all the targets there. Curtis Samuel, totally down to flex him too. I mean, he's been looking good as of late. Now, DJ Moore, I have him on as a sit because me personally, the guy annoys the hell out of me. And I'm leaning on sitting him, just in lineups where I have him just because he's been so damn annoying. But, I put it on here as a flex because you may not have the luxury to be able to sit him. But I don't care if he does ball out. I'm sitting him, and I'm just not worried about it. How many times did Teddy Bridgewater throw the ball? Like 35, 40 times, something like that. And DJ Moore got 3 targets. Like, yeah, that's bad. All right, Broncos at the Raiders. So Jerry Jeudy, I think you can fire him up. I mean, the Broncos, they're going to be playing from behind a lot. I mean, their defense hasn't been doing that great. In the beginning of the year, they were good at shutting down the run, but they've just been giving it up lately. So, yeah, I mean, Jerry Jeudy, just because they're going to have to play from behind and look like he really got into a groove last game. Like, yeah, I like that. And he's the start for me. KJ Hamler, I think he's flex worthy, depending on your options, but he got a grip of targets in this past game. Nelson Aguilar, someone who makes me kind of nervous, but I don't know. The Raiders, I mean, they just got those special teams plays last time. And I mean, they started with short field position. So really didn't have, too much yardage to go around last game. They still ended up beating the Chargers. But I did like the way that Nelson Aguilar caught that TD. So, I mean, just him and Carr's connections just looking nice. So, yeah, he's someone I would get in there as a flex. Tim Patrick, not trying to play him in this game, but if you're in a really deep league and, you're kind of deep diving among some crappy decisions, I mean, Tim Patrick, I mean, he's been a solid flex, and they keep looking for him in the end zone. So, and then Hunter Renfrow for Vegas. He's just been way too fluky and inconsistent for me. So, yeah, I'm not starting him at all. Chargers at the Dolphins. So really, there's only a couple guys we're talking about in this. I mean, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams. I think you could flex both of them. Keenan Allen, I mean, the way that he's been getting a grip of targets. Like it's been great. The Dolphins, their secondary is a force to be reckoned with. So whatever your expectations are of Keenan Allen this week, I mean, you still got to play him. I mean, I don't see how you sit him, but you got to downgrade your expectations. He's not. I'm not seeing him doing the exact same thing that he did last week, over 100 yards and all those targets. I mean, Dolphins are probably going to hold him down a little bit. I think Mike Williams, he gets enough balls to, have his usual style of game. And Devontae Parker, now with Preston Williams going out, Chargers really haven't had the best secondary. Devontae Parker is getting a bunch of targets, and I think that continues going into this week. And I think the Dolphins are just going to have to keep throwing it. I don't think they're going to be able to run it all over the Chargers now with their running back options. Bills at the Cardinals. This one might be the game of the week. I'm excited to watch this one. So Stephon Diggs, I mean, you're obviously starting him. Going up against Patrick Peterson, though, so that's going to be tough. So we're going to have to downgrade those expectations, just a little bit. DeAndre Hopkins, hopefully he has a big bounce back game after last week going up against the Dolphins and kind of getting shut down. Going up against Tre'Davious White this week, so not the best. I mean, there's no sitting Hopkins, no matter what. But it's one of those things. We got to downgrade the expectations a little bit. Christian Kirk, I'm liking what I'm seeing out of him and how Kyler Murray's been going to him. I think you can get him in the flex this week. John Brown, I'm just nervous about John Brown. So I have him here as a sit because if I can't afford to sit him, I'm just going to do it. I'm not expecting the same thing that we got out of him last week. They're going up against the worst secondary in the league, at least the secondary that you can throw on the most for whatever reason. So I'm trying to sit him, but he is flex worthy depending on your options. Cole Beasley, I'm sitting him down. He did exactly what I thought he was going to do. I think he had like 3 receptions, low 30s in the yardage, and it's kind of his MO. It's kind of his style. Larry Fitzgerald, you're not playing him. I mean, you got to be pretty desperate to be diving that deep. Divisional matchup, Seahawks at the Rams. This one's going to be a good game. Tyler Lockett, I mean, obviously you're starting him. I think that Jalen Ramsey is going to be covering him. So, I mean, you got to downgrade expectations a little bit, expecting big things out of DK Metcalf. And the way that the Seahawks have been playing, you really need to roll out all your wide receivers against them. So Robert Woods, roll him out. Cooper Kupp, roll him out. It's probably going to be one of the best games of the year for these guys. 49ers at the Saints. This could be a real lopsided game for the 49ers. Brandon Ayuk, I'm getting him out there in a flex, really not touching too many other people from this game, and that's assuming I believe he has been cleared. Make sure you follow on YouTube just for updates on that. I'm pretty sure he's been cleared already, though. Michael Thomas, throwing him out there for sure. He looked okay to me, and if last week was his bad week, I mean, this means he's going to have a lot of good weeks coming up. Emmanuel Sanders, I think he's flex worthy going against the 49ers. 49ers are tough to run on, so they're probably going to be throwing it a little bit more. And yeah, I mean, Drew Brees has never had a number 2 wide receiver like him, so I think gets a good amount of targets. Debo, we don't know if Debo Samuel is going to be playing or not. He does have a chance to play this week, so subscribe on YouTube, for the updates. I'm bringing updates Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday with all the injury report stuff. But yeah, Shanahan said that he has a chance of playing this week. Not too psyched, going against the Saints either way. But Richie James, someone who is kind of the flavor of the week. I'm just saying, don't risk it. Sit in him. I know there's some people who are going to be picking him up, but even if you pick him up, it is a tough game. Like look at what the Saints just did to the Bucks. I mean, you got Jenkins, and then you got Marshawn Lattimore. I mean, you got 2 stud corners. I just feel like the way they use Brandon Ayuk, I mean, they're going to get him the ball in jet sweeps, tosses behind the line, like all that type of stuff. Who knows if they do that with Richie James? And then Traquan Smith, he's now that Michael Thomas is back. I mean, Emmanuel Sanders is there too. Like he's just not getting a bunch of targets, so he's really not worth playing anymore. Bengals at the Steelers. I think this is going to be an ugly game, but because it's going to be an ugly game, I think it's going to be good for pretty much all the wide receivers in this. I mean, T. Higgins, think you can roll him out there. I mean, all the Bengals wide receivers are flex worthy in my eyes. T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, and AJ Green. I mean, if there's one way that you can, move the ball on the Steelers by throwing it, I mean, you're not going to be running it all day on them. So I think they all get enough targets to where they're all at least flex worthy guys. Juju, Deontay, Chase Claypool. Chase Claypool had the most targets out of everybody last week, just so you know. I mean, they all had a decent amount of targets. I think you can play them all. In this week, going up against the Bengals, I mean, I think it's going to be a decent scoring game, at least on the Steelers side of things. I think the Bengals are just going to throw it enough to make these guys at least flex-worthy plays. Sunday Night Football, Ravens at the Patriots. What's up with the Patriots? How are they getting all these primetime games? So really the only wide receiver I want to touch in this game is Jacoby Myers. He's someone that I've been talking about for the last couple weeks, and ever since Edelman went out, he's been the guy who's been getting everything. So I want to continue that trend. Marquise Brown, I'm sitting him down, and Des Bryant, he already got dropped down to the practice squad. So everybody got fooled, including me. I don't know if they're just rotating him between the practice squad and the main roster. I mean, that's just not that's not a good sign for him. I think you just drop him. Monday Night Football, Vikings at the Bears. This one is going to be ugly. Adam Thielen, I think you can start him. Really, I just think he's going to get enough volume to where he's going to make it worth it. I'm really not super excited to start him. So if I've got some good options that I can play over him, I'm throwing him on my bench. But, for those people who you're in a 12-man league and you don't have too many options, you got to start at least 2 or 3 wide receivers. I mean, it is what it is. On the Bears side of things, I would start Allen Robinson. You always start Allen Robinson, especially in a good matchup like this. And then Darnell Mooney, he's been getting a good amount of targets. Last week wasn't the best game, but I think this is a week that you can roll him out there in a flex. Justin Jefferson, I'm sitting him. He's been really fluky. And then going up against the Bears, I mean, he's going to get treated like a rookie by these corners. They got some solid corners out there. I'm more confident in Adam Thielen's work, as a wide receiver veteran, that he'll actually get enough, to be worth it as a flex play. I don't know about Jefferson. Anthony Miller, he might be flex worthy if you're in a really deep league, but I'm not super excited, about starting him. Darnell Mooney's getting more snaps and he's getting way more targets. So, I mean, Alan Miller did have more yardage last week, but I just don't see that trend continuing. It was by a couple too. It wasn't even that many yards difference. Alrighty, guys, that's the wide receiver video. Don't forget, we got the QBs, we got the running backs, we got the tight ends, got the defensive streamers, got everything for you. It's still Tuesday, so go hit up the waiver wire videos. I got those out for you too. So yeah, guys, I'll see you on the next video. Peace out.
Are you ready, Jerry?
I'm ready.
Just want to make sure you're ready, brother. Show me the money.
Oh, you didn't know?
Every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling.
You put my shoes on, you wouldn't last a mile.
Summertime, wintertime, I'm on the grind. I got the ring, I'm the champ, I'm the genie of the lamp.
This is the gift I was given, so I just live by my hustle.
Keep hustling. It's all about the Benjamins, baby.
Yeah.
It's all about the Benjamins, baby.
Yeah.
It's all about the Benjamins, baby.
Yeah. VIP me put in my pocket, it don't make sense, but don't make a profit. So I hustle, ladies and homies, make money, money.
Hold out here for a pill. When he tryna get this money for the real.
I want to find a thing to save my life, so I hustle.
It ain't over for me, no, it ain't over for me.
Keep. Here comes the money.
Here we go, money talk.
Here comes the money.
Show me the money!
Okay, let's go smoke that joint.